that. Okay. So you go to plus this plus, you can see you can add now. Few weeks ago, ChatGPT is now able to upload. You can upload videos here, so you can do video understanding. If you remember the capabilities of AI, so ChatGPT can upload video and then give you scripts of that video. It will not only generate the scripts, it can analyze a video for you, give you the tone, the style, so you can replicate it. So wild, it's so wild what it can do. Um, you can add your Google Drive, you can create images, you can do deep research, you can shop for you, ChatGPT shop. And I think I have actually, let me see, I added Chris AI to this. I don't know. Let me see if we can find it. I added it to the shopping. I don't know if it needed approval. Uh, so you can upload your picture here, upload your, I think there's a place where you can upload your products here to sell. So ChatGPT shops. I think I did register Crispy. I let's see. It's saying something. But I haven't tried it. I just registered it. Gathering more interest. Let's see. Okay, do you mean something specific by Crisp? For example, Crisp AI, your own brand or program. Crisp, the AI customer support. Let's see. Is it singing it? I just put view products. Let me see. No, this is not us. Yeah, it pulled a different source. I did register, but I didn't hear from them again. Okay. And I didn't check it. I just decided to check it right now. So there is a link where you can just Google how do I add my products and services to ChatGPT shop. You'll be able to see it. I think it requires a little bit of approval. Now, ChatGPT also has an agent mode. So this agent mode, you can tell it to accomplish a task for you, maybe do a research, maybe book a flight, maybe provide you a travel plan. It will just plan every single thing. If you also tell it to create a slide for you, like a PowerPoint presentation, um, a lot of things you can ask this agent to do for you, and it will be able to execute it all by itself. We'll get into agents. We'll talk about agents. I think that will be the last session. We'll talk about agents. So this is an example of ChatGPT agent. It's autonomous. So it takes over your screen and then does all the work for you. Okay, so you don't have to do a lot of things. I'm on um I'm on Plus plan. I think ChatGPT Plus. So I think if you are on the free mode, I don't know if you have access to the agent mode. I've also not been using it frequently. So I think I do have 40 every month. So 40 left every month. So I typically don't use it that much, where you can create a lot of things for you, slides, presentations, like different things for you. It just takes over your screen and does all the work. And it might be asking you questions to know what you really want to achieve. And then you just go by itself to achieve that thing for you. Really amazing. Okay. Here you can add sources to your ChatGPT. So you can connect to add your um your um your Gmail, connect your calendar, Google Contacts, Box, Dropbox, Google Drive, and a lot more that you can do with it. Okay, so we'll get to this place later on. We'll check the settings again. I want us to just explore this. So you can study with ChatGPT, study and learn here. You can connect to the web. Let's say you want to pull information from the web. You can connect from the web. All these AIs, they have a knowledge cutoff, right? We've talked about it. Knowledge cutoff is whatever the data have been trained, they will not be able to see what is happening in real life. But how would they be able to do that when you connect to the web search? Okay, because web search is live, like it's happening in the moment. They'll be able to pull that from the web search. ChatGPT Canva can write code for you. So you can write code, you can code with this You can build websites with this. Okay. That's also the same thing Codex does. Okay. You can ask it some questions and maybe create quizzes for you. Maybe have some documents you want to review or you want to understand better. You can just ask it to give you some quizzes on them. So as part of the something you can learn with. Okay, so um how do you connect your apps? I've already shown you how to connect your apps. So you just have to click on that connect apps and then connect to your app. So if you want to use Adobe Photoshop, can connect with it. And this is just basically how you just follow the prompts and connect. This is that simple. Like usually they don't really require anything. Same thing with Canva. So I can ask it to design a flyer for me or edit a flyer for me. If I have one, I just upload it. Sign a flyer that's real. Teach people AI. Let's see what is. I didn't give it anything, just a mere prompt, right? Let's see what it's gonna come up with. Canva does the same thing as well. You can create, you can design. So it's giving me the concepts of that. It's telling me the front of the flyer, what you should have. The headline should be big and bold and all that. I know this is also how we use that prompt, right? I gave you for my custom GPT. If you remember my custom GPT, it looks similar to this, what the colors are going to be and all of that. So I can just copy this optional follow-ups. I don't want. So let's assume Canva ready version with brand colors, print optimized PDF and all that. So let's say okay, colors dark blue. Let's just put it here and see what it's going to give us. It has a photo and all of that. No coding, no math, no. Okay, it has some who is it for, why AI matters, and all of that. Okay, it gave me a headline, gave me I think that's my flyer. So I'm just going to copy. Let's copy this. Give me a purpose, audience, flyer concept. I'm not going to copy that. I'm just going to copy front of flyer. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this prompt. What am I going to do now? Let me see. Do I need to add an image creation to it? I don't know. So I haven't used this before, but let's see what it's going to do. Let's see if it's going to create an image for us. But you should also be able to create an image in Photoshop. You can try that out as well. Okay, you can ask ChatGPT to make multiple images at a time now. And that is one of the main features of this image. So I can ask it to create maybe 3 or 4 images of this flyer, and then it will bring out all those images. And now I can now select the one I want, right? So this is a flyer I'm making. I don't have to, because I know how to do this, I don't have to pay any graphic designer to do this for me. Think about what you can do with all these skills. Okay, this is just, preliminary. I haven't even added a lot of, I didn't even add any um background per se. Look at how beautiful this is, right? And let's see what you will learn, what AI really is in plain language, how people use AI at work every day, simple tools you can start using immediately, why AI matters. This is lovely, right? This is lovely and with beautiful pictures as well, representing all races. So who this is for: students and job seekers, professionals and teams, entrepreneurs and creators. No coding, no math, no pro. Isn't this amazing, guys? Tell me, tell me. Isn't this amazing? Is this not amazing? Tell me. Okay, so you can add a whole lot of apps, you can add many things, you can, add sources. Now let's review a couple of more things here. Yeah. So personalization, go to your personalization. So this is where you can add create task. So sometimes we want to automate some things in terms of creating maybe like apps or sorry, in terms of creating like a task that you want ChatGPT, let's say you're into content creation and you want ChatGPT to every day give you all the news about AI. This is where you can go to. You go to schedules, go to manage. You can create what they call ChatGPT task. I did create a couple of those here. So I have social media posts. They generate some content for me, although I don't feel it's quality. It keeps reusing the words. It's not like as flexible as I would like it to be because, of course, it's AI generated. So there's a template that has been given to it. So there's no real much flexibility. And of course, it's not um it just gives me what is being trained on. It's not like when you have a trending topic, it's not going to give me any trending topic. It's just what it has been trained on. That is one of the limitations of using this scheduled. But ultimately, if I want to learn, I can use it. I haven't also tried. You can see the last time. Okay, it's not showing the time, but it's been a while I used it. So I scheduled some of them, generate AI tips for content ideas, send daily AI trends updates to me, but it doesn't really do exactly that much. Like ChatGPT 2 came out, I may not have, I may not have received it. So you can set the instructions, you can have the tasks scheduled. Um, I don't know if it's post. I do receive emails. I want it scheduled daily at 8 a.m. so I can create a couple of that. I created this long ago, but I don't usually use it. I send it to my email every single day. Okay. So these ones are posts. So this one is the only one I'm getting. So these ones are posts. So because I don't really like use it, it's not fresh. I don't know if you get me. Okay. Okay, so characteristics. So how do you want your ChatGPT to always respond? Depending, my own is warm, enthusiastic. Headers and list with emojis as default. So sometimes we get a little bit of emojis. Custom instructions. Like I noticed that ChatGPT recently does have like this column. Most times you send it something, it still has a column. So you can come here and change the custom instructions here. Okay, you say I don't want any of my outputs to be with a column or an M dashes. I think it has stopped giving M dashes. I don't receive M dashes as much again, but that column is what I don't like because sometimes you are seeing the words and it's giving you like the column where it gives the column should be either a full stop or a comma, but not a column and neither a semicolon too. So this is where you can come and change all of that. Okay, I did mention to you that ChatGPT sends me notifications. So this is where I set it to push an email. So I have both toggled up, group chats. So push responses, on push projects can notify me on projects, emails, recommendations, push an email. So this is where you can set your notifications as well. Okay. Okay, this is the apps. We've already talked about these apps, what it has for the apps, right? We have parental controls, like maybe you add family members who are using this account with you, you can add them here, and so that you know what they are also you might be able to get like what they are also using it for in the history. Okay, I don't have a family member added. However, I do have my kids also using my account because I'm using the paid account. Yeah. So you want to set up a multi because I have a couple of people who are using this. I didn't set up a multi-factor authentication, but it's recommended you set up a multi-factor authentication um for this device. So once you for this for ChatGPT, so once you log in, it is going to ask you to send you a code, maybe as a text message or a WhatsApp based on what you had, given to it. It just protects your data. Nobody will have access to it. Okay. So data control, this is very important. So if you want ChatGPT to use your data to train their models, this is where you toggle on. So you toggle it on to allow the content to be used to train your their models. You toggle this place on, but I don't want them to be using my information. You see, I have a lot of videos and all of that, and images and all of that. Yeah, I don't want them to use my image to be training their model. So I've toggled it off. Voice mode, if you want to include your audio recordings, video recordings here, this is also where you toggle it on so that they will use it to improve their model. Okay. Remote browser data if you want them to use it. Yes. Shared links, you can manage this, you can archive all chats, you can delete all chats here. So I have a lot of chats all here. So if you want to delete all, I can just come into data control and delete all my chats. You can also export your data using this. Okay, I think we've covered all of them. We've covered this as well, where you have different apps and all of that. So uh, to connect with your data with ChatGPT. Okay, one of the most important aspects which we have also covered is custom GPTs. Custom GPTs, and I want you all to take this seriously. Like there's a lot of custom GPTs. Your Canva is also a custom GPT. Let's say you are creating, let's even look at animation. Animation. Let's see if we have, yes, we do have some custom GPTs for animation. So we have animation creation. I haven't used this before, but this is 3D animated movie. So recently my daughter was exploring medical videos. So you know how you want to understand like some 3D animation where you have to have the human body, you are seeing the bones, you're seeing the muscles and all of that. Those kind of videos that explain what's happening in your body when something happens to you. Those she was just exploring it. Really beautiful. I may have a copy of it. I may share it here, but really beautiful what she was able to design and make with it. So you can animate a lot of things. So you might want to look at this for the prompts. So animation creation. So these are all different kinds of GPTs that people have created. I so this is for AI, video AI by NVIDIA. Scholars, if you are doing research, this is something you can use. This one, Scholar GPT, image generator, humanizer, and all of that. There are many of them. So depending on what you want, productivity apps, research and analysis app, education apps for presentation. Some of them are not okay. Some of them don't really work very well as they should, but it's something you can explore. Check which one works for you. Okay. People is ordinary people have created some of these things and put it for community use. So lifestyle, personal color analysis, a song maker, create music using musical theory. I don't know what musical theory is, but it's something to explore. Contracts and agreements. Okay. This one is image logos or you can also use ChatGPT to create logos and all of that, right? So programming, like you want to learn about software and all of that, you can use this programming ones to do that. Now you have your own custom GPT that you've created. So assuming I want to push my custom GPTs to the community, I can just add it to my community. So I do have a couple of custom GPTs that I've created, many of them that are mine. So this is where you find all of yours that you have created, or maybe you are using. I think most of them are. No, the ones I've created, all of these ones are mine because I use them for my personal workflow. Okay. So which all of us have learned. Tell me, have you created any custom GPT or even Gemini Gem? Have you created any? Give me a thumbs up if you have. Have any of you created any custom GPT or Gemini Gem? No? We created it at very first class. If you haven't, I encourage you to do because it's very critical when you are it's very, very critical to understand your workflows and know how you can work with your workflows, like how you can make your workflows easy. This makes my work so easy. There's a lot of things I do with custom GPTs, and I'm still creating a lot. And that is how it starts. You start with custom GPT. You now um you now try to automate other tasks as well. Okay, so I want to also show you projects. So ChatGPT project is when you have a particular project you are working on. You see, when you're asking ChatGPT a question, let me show you. You ask ChatGPT to do something, right? It's just one thing you're asking it. Sometimes you have it gives you an output, but you want to keep like analyzing something or keep working on that thing. So how you do that is instead of just working on this, because this will disappear in the history. If you are like me that have like this is my history, like a lot of things on my history, like so many things I could go on and on. So it's better you use projects, ChatGPT projects. So let's say you have a huge research, like a seminar paper you're working on, you can come here. Let's say, let me just put it seminar presentation. I need to use the name of the presentation instead of just saying seminar presentation. Using the name helps me to remember that this is what I was working on. Okay, now I go and create a project. Of course, as I'm working on that seminar presentation, I'm not just working, and maybe I have a couple of documents I want to use to get my resources for the seminar presentation. I'll add those files here. Now, ChatGPT will now pull from the files the information, and I can tell it, I don't want you getting me anything from your trained data. I want only information from here, and it gives me that information. So somehow reduces the hallucination with that ChatGPT is ChatGPT does of unfortunately we do have AI models do hallucinate a lot. So we don't want that. So we can add those files here and tell it, give it the instruction that we want to have the information pulled only from those files. And then of course it's just regular like anything you want to do. Same like you can add more photos and files, add things from your Google Drive, create an image for your presentation, do a deep research. You can shop with it, you can create an edit and all of that and add other things that are going on here. Okay, I think we have covered a lot of things with ChatGPT now. One more thing. I just want to see um, flyer to teach AI. So one more thing. So this you can give if you like it. You can like, you can dislike, you can download, you can share, you can copy, you can share again. There are many things you can branch off to a new chat here. Like let's say you are working on something, but you want to work on a different thing, you can branch off on a different chat. You can also copy, okay, the copy here. You can also report whatever you have. So these are some features. I think that you can also it does have an audio. So let's say you want it to just want to listen to the output, you may be able to listen to the output also. This one I don't think because it's an image creation, it doesn't have it doesn't give you that opportunity. But once you are creating here, there should be like a sound thing so that you can listen to the output. Okay, other things that are here are like you have a voice mode, voice to voice. So I can ask ChatGPT a question and it's going to respond to me voice to voice. Hi, ChatGPT, how are you today? Tell me that.
Doing well, thank you for asking. Feel free to ask me anything you'd like, and I'll respond right away.
Okay, so currently teaching
Understood. I'm right here and ready to help whenever you're ready to continue. Just let me know what's on your mind.
so I'm preparing for an interview. How do I go about it?
Absolutely. In that case, let's approach it from a professional angle. Think about the core competencies the interview might cover and how your experience lines up. For example, if you're preparing for a project management role, focus on concrete examples of past projects you've handled, challenges you navigated, and the results you achieved. We can also consider different angles they might ask from, and tailor your responses accordingly.
Okay. So this is you can use this to practice interviews. You can use this to, enhance your public speaking skills, like different things you can use. This is voice to voice. Okay. So a whole lot of things. I believe most of us already know some of these, right? Tell me, what's new that you've learned today? What's new? Tell me. John, unmute yourself. Feel free to tell me what you've learned today. Then we dive into automation.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Clearly, right? Or very faintly?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you once again. Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the class, that as we progress in the training, I keep knowing how little I know on this AI of the thing. So I've been able to actually learn about the how to connect some of the applications to the ChatGPT. So I think I've done a couple in the process of this class. And also this voice interaction that we just did now, that was also a very lovely one. So thank you. I would just like to explore as much as possible. Just keep showing us so that we can learn because if I actually say these are the things I want to learn, that may actually limit my learning, right? But I know you've gone far and wide on this topical discussion, so you'll be able to actually show us more on what we need to learn and what we need to know. So as it keeps coming up, please continue to share. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, John, for sharing. Danny, do you want to share, or David? Anybody wants to share about what they've learned in this session, and then we'll dive into automation. Nobody comfortable to share? Okay, well, no problem. So I'm just going to dive into automation. We have been able to cover ChatGPT. I think all the features and everything I have shown you, it can do amazing things. It can create flyers, videos, like every single thing anybody can think of right now. And um, like I did mention to you, you can collaborate with it. The good thing about it, it has now a good context window, and because of this huge context window, it can be a brain dump for you. Like I mentioned to you, and I know because I understand what AI can do. I'm creating a brain clone of myself. By the new year, it's going to be out. It's going to impute every single thing I know. It's going to know me inside and out, my words, how I speak, um, how I think, the emails I have written in the past, the social media, the connections I've made is going to know me like back to back, like something that knows me back to back. Yes. So, so creating a clone of myself is something I want to achieve before 2026. So can you still see my screen? Hi, everyone. Let me know if you can see my screen. Fortunately, I cannot see everyone now that I have started presenting. Is that safe? Well, what is safe? Who is going to break into ChatGPT? Well, I don't give it my I did not give them access to use my information as a trained data. What I mean, like, it's going to know me, of course, it's going to know how I reason, like how I see things, how I the information I've had, like in the past, I've been saying to myself, I'm going to write like books. I've thought about it, but I haven't been able to bring myself. I want to create something that will ask me questions. at this time and this time of the year, where were you? Let's talk about your experience, and I'll be able to give it what I want, what I had with it, and you should be able to store that information somewhere. So you can retrieve information from my past experience and help me to look ahead, basically. So when you talk about safety, when you talk about safety, um, it, it's not gonna use like my personal information because I've not given it. I locked my ChatGPT. Okay, they can't use me for to train their model. They can't use whatever I've given to them to train their model. Yeah, but my plan is to use it myself. I'm using my clone myself because I don't want to be having a whole lot of things in my head. It will know the kinds of designs I want, the colors that make me the colors that I really like. It's going to just make my life easy. Okay. Okay. So let's dive into workflow automation. So today we're going to master, let me put this here. Hope if this is okay here. I'm just gonna minimize this. So when I minimize this, it means I'm not going to be seeing people. So today we're going to master workflow automation, and I want you to think of automation like maybe an invisible assistant following you around, writing down things, copying information, sending messages, filling documents without you even asking twice. So you are automating like different tasks, and that's what we are going to be building today. So at the end of this session, I want us to be able to build an appointment setter. So, so today we're going to look at workflow automation fundamentals. We'll understand the n8n platform. n8n is one of the most popular platforms people use to automate their task. We'll be able to set it up today, and tomorrow we'll be able to create our own automation. We'll also learn workflow design and implementation. How do you design your own workflow? What does even workflow mean? Okay, and then we'll learn debugging. Sometimes we run into errors while creating this automation. How can we debug it? We create an automation, n8n automation at the end of tomorrow. Okay. So workflow automation means using computers to do repetitive tasks for us. So instead of doing the same thing over and over again, you set up a simple if what happens, then do that. So for example, sometimes you want to book an appointment. You want to book an appointment with somebody and you go back and forth. Like you go back and forth to say, oh, I'm available at 10 a.m. And the person says, oh, 10 a.m. doesn't work for me. And then keep going back and forth. Okay, since 10 a.m. doesn't work for you, can we schedule tomorrow at 9 a.m.? It's that back and forth. Either you are conversing, either it's a conversation happening or it's an email happening. WhatsApp is an email, which I don't really like. Like, I don't really like going back and forth with people on scheduling my, time. So you may want to have people have something that they can easily schedule that appointment with you. That means it's automated. Booking appointments, responding to emails could be automated. Some of the things that custom GPTs will help us to do, we'll be able to do that by automating those things. Okay. So tools like n8n, make.com, Zapier are the most popular tools that people use for automation. Now, let us compare these tools. n8n, it can run on your computer for free, but there is also a paid version, which is the cloud version, the website one. The website is you may have to pay for it after 14 days, and that's the one we're going to be using. So we use cloud. The free one has to be it's a little bit complex to configure it. Now, Zapier has been one of the has been there for a long time. So a lot of people use it. It also has, connections. It can integrate to a lot of different platforms and then make fairly new, but it runs online as well. We'll look at N8N and Make.com. Zapier is a little bit more expensive. So starting cost for N8N is, I think it's £20. However, that's for the cloud one, but you have 14-day trial. Zapier is, I think, a little bit more than maybe $20, and then Make.com is $9. Zapier is a little bit flexible. It can connect with a lot of different tools. Zapier is not very flexible. It uses a pre-built section, a pre-built option. So some organizations will use it, but it doesn't really like speak to, maybe it can integrate with outside like a different application, but it's one expensive. It's also, I think it's not also difficult to set up, but it's more expensive, really. Make.com is flexible, it's also good. And we'll look at both of them. We'll look at N8N and Make.com. Uh, with N8N, you have complete control over your data. If it runs by itself in Zapier, it's been managed. They manage your data and information for you. And Make.com also handles and manages your data. Okay, this is a quick comparison of these automations. So how does automation work? So first you have a trigger, and I'm going to show you what that is. I think I just wanted us to like understand the theory first, and then we now go to the practical aspect of it. So we have like three main things that we'll look out for when we're talking about automation. So usually the automation has to have a start. There's something that triggers it. Okay, so for example, it could be that you have to complete a form, and that form is what triggers or initiates the workflow to run, the automation to run. It could be that when somebody sends you an email, it immediately creates a draft email. So it creates a draft email so that you can now review that draft email. Okay. It could also be triggered by an external app. So let's say Telegram or WhatsApp or LinkedIn. Okay, so I know some of us have seen some Facebook or Instagram messages that say, comment and I will send you something, right? And then sometimes you comment, they don't send you anything. So it's also an automation. ManyChat is one of those automations that has partnerships with Facebook, like Meta, right? So that once you comment, they send it to you. Sometimes also human being is behind the scenes sending that information to you. And you can imagine how tasking it is, where the person is just waiting and people are commenting and they're just, sending you that information, right? Sometimes it's very tasking when people demand that if it's somebody at the end. So, but it can be automated using ManyChat, which is not very cheap as well. ManyChat is not very cheap. Okay. So what does it do? The actions, what does it do? So what it does is perform that particular action after the trigger. So remember, something triggers something, but there's an action. So let's say it's an appointment setter. You wanted to create an appointment. Let's say your trigger is a Telegram. Once somebody sends me an email, a message on Telegram to book an appointment, it's the action is to book the appointment in the calendar. That will be the action. Okay. So it could be, for example, if somebody completes a form, you save the information, date, name, and all that. Think about, for this kind of registration, we used Zoom registration, right? Immediately somebody completes that Zoom registration form, we receive the person's name and email address. So that's also an automation. Now we can have conditions. So give it rules. So if let's assume that the trigger here is an email. Let's say we can set it in such a way that if this email has any language that says, I need support, I need help, it's a support ticket. And then because of that, it sends it to a folder you have created in your email called support tickets. That's the rule that you have given to your email. I don't know, do we have any emails? Do we have somebody who have set your emails in this way? Because I actually group my emails, especially my Outlook email, my work email. I have a different folders for different things. So I have an email for my supervisor. So if an email comes in from my supervisor, it goes, I've given it a rule that all emails with my supervisor's email should go to a particular mailbox. That's an automation. If this, if it's anybody else, it should go to my inbox. But if it's from my supervisor, because I really want to focus on those ones from my supervisor, it's going to have folder that I've created. Now, if it's maybe for maybe job posting or something, I can schedule I can give my email a rule to say push it in this other folder. So you may be able to group your folders in your email, and this is very easy to do. That would be my recommendation. If you're working outside of if you're working outside of like the outside, like in the Western world, you may want to organize your mailboxes in that light. So that's kind of a smart rule to set. If you want me to show you, let me know. If you want me to show you how to create folders on your mailbox so that you'll be able to um, have your folders organized, you have your emails organized. Very, very important. So why is automation helpful? Because number one, it can save you so much time. Automation can handle very boring and repetitive tasks for you. It frees up your time to do more important things, and so that it helps you to be creative. Like, because you are no longer doing those boring tasks, it helps you to focus and do more important things with your time. That's also why we're going to be, learning how to automate things. Um, when we are doing a particular task, most times, as we do those kind of tasks, most times you will start getting lot of diminishing returns will just take place. Like you're focusing on a particular task, and it's just that one task. Let's say that data entry. You are just entering that data. At a time, you can get confused, so you make mistakes. Okay, so but with automation, that will not happen because you have given AI that rule. So it helps you to also reduce errors. So that's also one of the things. One of the tasks I did when I moved to Canada was data entry. So you have to enter lots of emails. I did work in the international students department, so lots of can see thousands of students arriving. I'm supposed to record all their information, and I'm copying and pasting. I'm doing a couple of things, creating student ID numbers and all of that, a whole lot of data things. And at the sometimes I'm like, oh my God, have I copied this one? Haven't I copied? Who has this one? Those kind of things can just come in and help. You might make mistakes on them, but if it's automated, then you don't have to. And they finally did automate that, having a way to speak one system speaking to another, so it just pulls that information basically. You can now be able to grow your business with ease because you have been able to automate different things. So even let's talk about social media. Now we don't really I think one of the automations we may look at on make.com will be automating social media. So right now, as I speak to you, I don't really have to appear on the screen like that to do all my video content. Most of them are being automated because I don't want to make up, comb my hair, wear nice clothes. Sometimes I don't even have those variety of clothes I would have loved to have to show up on the camera. So I can just automate all those parts. So I have somebody, but somebody speaking. Okay, so your business can be running 24/7 without you being there as well. Okay, so we'll dive into N8N, and I want to share the N8N with us. Um, because I want us to at least be able to log in today, and then we'll go from there. Let me open N8N. Let's start from here, n8n.com. So I'm gonna share this in the chat. Mhm. So before we continue, I want to ask if anybody does have questions. If is it clear? Tell me. Do you have any questions before we proceed? Questions? I've just sent in the link to the n8n platform. Questions? No questions? We're good? Okay. Not from my end. Awesome, John. Okay. So we are going to be exploring n8n fully, which is one of the popular automation platforms. For those who are just joining us, welcome. We did explore everything about ChatGPT before we actually started with automation. It's recorded. The majority of the ChatGPT we explored is recorded, and you can go back and watch it. But we explored everything: how to connect apps on ChatGPT, how to create flyers, thumbnails, anything you really want to create with ChatGPT, how to use ChatGPT agents that can automatically um, just autonomously buy things for you, create slides for you, create Excel sheets for you, create anything you really want. To be honest, it can just do that for you. It can connect apps for you. It can help you to also code as well. We went to ChatGPT Canvas that can help you to code, create apps, and all of that. We also explored some GPTs that have been pre-built, so pre-built that people can use for any task. Somebody is asking something. Let's see what's this. So we explored all of that. Okay. Now I'm going to proceed with anything. Who has logged in? If you have logged in, let me know. If you have logged into anything, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up. I want to expand the screen. Give me a thumbs up if you've been able to log in. So you go to Start and log in. This here. So go to Get Started and log in. You can log in with your email. You can log in with, yeah, log in with your email, log in with Gmail, however you want to log in. You have at least 14-day trial, and I don't think it's you'd need to I don't think you need to share your credit card information. I don't think it doesn't require any credit card information. John, okay, so you've been able to log in. Awesome. Please, I just want everybody to be able to follow along. Please just try and log in. Go to get started and then log in, sign up and log in. You have 14-day trial, free trial period to test it yourself. Okay. I want more people. Give me a thumbs up once you are done. Once you are done logging in so that we can proceed. Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, John, I've seen your thumbs up. I'm just looking for more people. So we are carrying everybody along. Danny, how about you? Are you able to log in? Have you been able to log in? Do you have any challenges, Danny? Logging in? Let me know. Awesome. Awesome, doctor. Okay, good. So I have two people giving me a thumbs up. I have two people that have given me a thumbs up. I'm going to proceed. So I want you to picture this as a digital assembly line, like maybe a factory conveyor belt. So each station does a particular thing, right? So let's assume that you create maybe cosmetics. So you have the one that just puts the seal on. You have the one that creates uh, the product information. You have the one that um, maybe adds or puts a cap on the bottle, right? So different things at different times, but it must be like a workflow. So that's kind of what we mean by like a workflow. It's a sequence of tasks that needs to be performed. So I'm not going to sign in here because I've already signed up. I've already signed in here. So when you sign in, you should see something like, let's go to home. You should see something like
Yeah, Richard, I'm having a problem. I try to sign in, then when it gets to answering the questions, to get started, it's not giving me those questions.
okay. What questions do you like? What questions did you get?
Yeah, yeah. It says answer these questions to get the most out of your innate and trial. Then I said okay, but then when I click okay, nothing happens. Like I don't find any.
Are you on your phone or are you on a laptop?
I'm on my phone.
Yeah, it may not work like that on a phone. I
Oh,
think
okay.
it works better on a laptop.
Okay, let's see that.
Yeah, that could be it. If you can log in with your laptop, that would be helpful because the automation has to be done on a laptop. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not in the office at the moment. Okay, let's see what happens. Yeah.
Okay. So you should be able to see something like, let's say, create a workflow. I don't know, can anybody see something like this? Do you see this? So this is your canvas. This is where you work. John, are you able to see something like this? Do you see something like this or not yet? I don't mind somebody. Let me unmute. Let me ask you to share your screen so we can work. So I'm making you a co-host. Oh, this is Danny, not John. So making John a co-host. I want to be sure that people are following along. Okay. John, are you here? Anybody here? Can anybody see this interface yet? Yeah, John, feel free to share your screen. We can work with yours. I want to be sure that everybody can see where we are. Then I'll be able to work everybody through this.
Okay, so for me, I've not um initiated the startup. I want to maximize that 14 days. So that 14 days free trial. So I deliberately didn't initiate the startup.
Sorry, say that again. You want to maximize the 14 days, so you don't want to sign up now. Is that what you're
I
saying?
want to sign up now. Just want to follow what you're doing.
Okay, you just want to follow what I'm doing, so you didn't sign up. Okay, so you need hands-on for you to be able to getting that hands-on is really important anyway. So you
Yeah,
will
so usually I have two laptops for the classes, but I'm not at home at the moment, so I don't have access to my second laptop at the moment. Thank you.
okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you should be able to get to somewhere here. Um so this is your canvas. So this is where you are going to your kind of like call it your playground. This is where you're going to work from. And this is how you add from, steps. You can add a trigger. Usually you start with a trigger as we talked about. This is also the editor. You have the executions here and you have the evaluations here. Okay. Um, so I'm going to go back and show us a couple of things. So here you will have a list of your workflows. So this is a list of your workflows will be here. That's what you see on the home page. You have the credentials. So for you to be able to connect from one app to another, you require some credentials like API keys. For most of us, because we are just starting, you will not see any credential here. You may not also see any workflow here because I do have a couple of workflows. I do have a couple of things I have created in the past. So sometimes you want to check what is going on with your workflows that you have created. This is execution is where you find out what's the runtime, what is the status, um, execution ID. Do you want to stop it? Do you want to pause it? Like, what exactly do you want to do? This is where you find, was it successful? Was there an error? This is where you find it on your execution log. This is execution log. You might have also some tables. So this is a place where you can create your tables if you do have tables so that you want to get information from these tables. Okay. So uh, I want to also show you more things here. Okay. So to create a workflow, you can go and create a workflow here, or you can use this plus sign to add your workflow or add a credential. This creates projects. So if you are working in an organization, perhaps you do have particular projects for different organizations, different departments, you may want to add products. This is for enterprise level. Okay. Now you have templates. I like these templates. So the templates is where maybe you want to create an automation. So and you want to know if that automation is even feasible. Am I able to create this automation or not? You might want to check the workflow. They have 7,424 workflows or automation templates. So if you are maybe thinking about sales, these are some sales automations that you might want to look at. So let's look at them. Scrape recent news about a company before a call. So this is a sale. So you are going to meet somebody, you want to scrape information of that company before you get into that call. So this is an automation already. Create Salesforce account based on Google Sheets data. So Salesforce is a CRM, so it has information about you. You can use it to store information about your clients, about students, about like a CRM. That's basically what Salesforce does. Generate leads with Google Maps, so you can have a Google scraper that scrapes names of businesses, websites of businesses, and all of that. We created something like this as well. And then it stores that information on maybe Google Sheets. So company enrichment from the website. So adds just some more information about the company so you can extract. Let me see what it has. Okay. Enrich new accounts in Pipedrive using data GMA API. I don't know what this does anyway, but I believe it gets companies' information and then maybe gives you the people that works there or some of this kind of information, something that will be able to help you more. Okay, let's go back to, okay, these are creators. Let me go back to templates here. Okay, so let's say you want to create an automation for IT operations. You can also come here to look at some of the templates that are here. And some of them are free. So for marketing, the same thing for document operations, order support, and all of that. So let's see the ones that are for free. So my 129 templates are free. So automate email filtering and AI summarization, 100% free and effective, works 24/7. Free AI image generator. So like if you want to generate images, most times all these platforms are already free, right? So, but um, this is free AI generator. Get a summary of each podcast in your YouTube playlist daily automatically for free. Perform multi-type DNS lookup. Domain name, that's kind of what with Google free public domain name services. Transcribe YouTube videos. YouTube already have free transcriptions, right? So, but maybe save it to Supabase. Supabase is an app that helps with database. That is have where you have your data in. Okay, automate free IP analysis and all of that. So have the free templates that you can use, you can plug in and start using. Okay. So let me go off here. Let me open this. I want to show you some more features. So this is what we are going to be creating today, but I want to show you a couple of things here. So this is where you can add your notes. Of course, you click and then it opens. You can search something here. Let's look at it. Command bar. You can add sticky notes, like you want to add some description to what you have created. You can use this right here. You want to focus on a particular thing. This is what you use this focus panel. Let's go over here. So you can duplicate this workflow. So everything here is called a workflow. So you can duplicate this workflow by clicking here. You can download this workflow. You can rename the workflow. Once you click on rename, it's here. I just named it my workflow 6. I just created this morning. I just want to leave it as is because I do have another one that I created just to test out and make sure that everything is running. You can import other URL. Let's assume that you really like a template, right? So what you're going to do is to import that template either from a URL that is the link, or you can import it as a file. It usually comes as a JSON file. So you can, import it and then you just see that. So a lot of people do share some free end-to-end workflows, and perhaps you like what they have shared, you can come in and just import. Then you can also export yours. So this is a setting. This is where you change, you can configure the settings here. Ensure that the date is properly set to the location you want it to set to. Most of the things here default and save. I don't really like change much here, but because I'm working on the calendar, I'm doing an appointment setter, I'm working on the calendar. I just need to make sure that I'm setting the right time for that, the right time zone for it. Okay. Taking some time. Okay. There it is. So if I want to test this, I can just toggle it off. I want to just test it. I toggle it off. I use the execution workflow to execute it right here. But if it's live already, if I feel that I'm confident about everything and everything works on it, I'm confident that it's gonna work, I'll just come over here and toggle it on. So this is like production stage, and when I toggle it off, it's on test mode. So it cannot run outside of it cannot run if you don't activate it, if you don't make sure that it's active, it cannot run from the outside because I have some tools that are coming from the outside, like Telegram app and all of that. Okay, I think I have shown you all the parts. There is no other thing here. So you can zoom it, you can zoom in and zoom out here. You can, of course, zoom in, zoom out, zoom to fit here. And, sometimes you have different items or here you want to tidy it up, you can use this. I think this is notification. What's new? Okay, this, if you have like any updates, this is where you get it from. This is support as well. This is your profile and maybe site settings. I believe it should be similar setting as this. And then this is where you go to understand the templates. And this is for insights as well. This is your insights. Okay. Let's go back to my workflow. Okay. Any questions? No questions. Let's head over to our slide. I wish all of us do have access to this. So I just wanted to give us like an overview of what n8n looks like. Okay, so I think I'll head back to this. So each of these items here are called like nodes. So this is a trigger node. This is my action nodes. The AI, I have an AI, OpenAI chat model here. This is the brain. It's going to do a couple of tasks for me. This is my memory because I want it to remember things. I want it to remember um, maybe session IDs. That is people who are um, ta remember events that have happened in the past. I want you to remember that. So I added the memory. And then these are tools. So what else do I want you to do? I want you to be able to create an event in Google Calendar for me because I want to be able to schedule appointments, no back and forths, right? I want you to also make sure it doesn't double book me. So I want you to be able to also search my calendar to make sure that there is no event that has been created for that particular time. So because I want to avoid any double booking, that is why I have this get many events on the calendar. Now I want to also to update my calendar to maybe if I want to edit the time or change the time, yes, you should be able to do that. I can also delete an event in the calendar with this. Okay. And I've connected it to another node for my output is it tells me whether it's successful, whether it's there's an error and all of that on using my Telegram app. Okay. Let's head over here and then let me see what else I have here. We've talked about the notes, sequence of actions, why n8n is a game changer for AI learners. This is our first automation. It can connect to OpenAI, makes it very powerful. You can think about how powerful AI is. That's how you can automate any task. And now you have a brain. So for this kind of automation that we have, I don't need to be very specific with the AI. I can just give it the time, and then it just creates that event for me because it's able to read whatever I have. We have been able to create PowerPoint presentations with AI. Social media, we have automated with AI. Um, Sales, you can automate. Like, think about what you can automate. And even I want to ask you, think about what you can automate. What can you automate now? Think about it. What task is repetitive for you? And I'm asking you this question. Think about what task is repetitive. What do you want to automate? Anyone? Anyone? What task are you doing Will it be email? Would it be writing? Would it be like after this session, one of our learners was able to write a book with AI. I mean, he had the materials for 3, 4, 5 years, and not just like him, like me. I've been saying I'm gonna write a book on something, but I'm like, for me to sit down and articulate that information, how to present it, how to make sure that it aligns, how to make sure that I don't have the brain space I don't have the brain space to write that book. I've been, maybe giving myself that excuse. I'm kind of thinking about it. It's something we can automate. Um, so AI can classify your emails. It can generate your summaries of articles, your reports. It can extract information from large text that you do have. Even creating courses, right? You can translate languages. Gemini 3 just released that um, they are now able to translate into 65 languages. So think about it. You have one document that you have created, but you have various languages that material can be translated to. Uh, Post daily affirmations, yes, and this is really, really easy to do with AI. Good, I'm sorry, just joining late. Yeah, no problems. You can catch up with the materials, no problems at all. There's a recording for this session and other ones as well. You can build custom AI agents that can, get you new data. Sometimes we create landing pages within a day, like within within a space of seconds, and we'll get to create AI agents. And I'll show you how you can do all of that. We can make decisions with AI. I don't say you should make decisions, but you must give criteria or AI to be able to assess that information that is accurate. Remember, AI is still a prediction engine, primarily a prediction engine. It doesn't understand what it's saying. Like, it's just a tool, and it will just be able to do as much as you that is giving it that information can provide. Like, it's a tool basically. Okay. So that's also why it's very important to learn about what it is and how to use it. It's just like when you have a calculator, you must be able to understand the maths before you can use the calculator to do it for you. If you are calculating using, maybe you want to calculate the ANOVA, you want to calculate the cost of something, tan of something, you must understand what that formula is before you're able to use it, properly. That's why when you're giving it, when you're asking it to make a decision for you, make sure you're giving it criteria, especially when it's a critical decision you want to use AI. And I understand now, like 70 people, 60-70% of people are using AI to make decisions. But I tell you, AI is just getting those words, predicting those words all together, right? So very, very important for um, very, very important for you to understand how AI makes its decisions. So in that way, you are able to assess that information, whether it's accurate or not, especially in a topic or in something that you're not really well versed in. So we've been able to, we've been able to maybe have access to n8n Cloud. Do we have access to n8n Cloud? Do we have access to the link I shared with you? Even if you're not able to log in today, try and log in tomorrow, because we are going to be creating tomorrow. Tomorrow is when we are going to build our apps. I've already walked you through this interface already. Workflow editor, which I did mention. Workflow list, I've shown you. Credential section, we have already seen what a credential section is. The execution log, I did mention it. The templates gallery, we have also seen it. I also showed you the test mode, where you have you can test. I think you can test one flow at a time, so you can test one flow at a time. Okay, let me see what else. Let's see. Comments, we've talked about comments, inputs and outputs. So let's look at this. So this is, let me open this step for you. So usually you will have input this other side. I want to go back. I want to use something else that you really see the input. So usually you have an input here and you have the processing part here. So the parameters, the settings, and then you have an output, whatever that output is here. So this is the AI agents. We have some system prompt. We've already learned about system prompt. Like we've taught, user prompt and system prompt. You know the difference between a user prompt and a system prompt. So yes, we have the user message here. So the user message is the message from here, right? Okay, and then you have the system prompts. You are a calendar agent. Your job is to help users create events in a Google Calendar. We've talked about how to create um, system prompts and all of that. So we're going to be actioning it today, and I'm going to give you this prompt. So don't worry about it. We're going to get this. We're going to be creating an appointment setter. You will know how to create an appointment. You will know how to create any other workflow that you would like to create, because I'm showing you all the different things. So we have input, you have the credential or the where you set the parameters, and then you have an output. And that is how AI works. AI is just a workflow. All AIs, you are thinking about it in like a workflow. And that is why it's important for us to also go back to that very first class where we did our workflows. If you haven't completed our workflow activity, it's very important you complete it. Okay. Okay. Core concepts. I think that's, let me see, expressions. Don't know how you just skipped ahead. So we talked about a workflow. A workflow is the automated process that you design from start to finish. So this is a workflow. This is a workflow. This whole thing is a workflow. Let's go back to here to show you. This is a workflow. This is another workflow. All these things are workflows. Check slides. This is a workflow. This is a workflow. So you can see the sequence. Presentation slides with Drive. So this is a workflow. So creating PowerPoint presentations with slides, but we are using information from our Google Drive tailored to the information that we do have. So different workflows. Okay. And then this is a node. This is a node. This is a node. This is a node. These are tools. You want to add some tools here. This is a node, another node here. Okay. So we have a trigger node. So I did mention that. So let me show you a trigger node. So this is a trigger node. You can see Telegram trigger. So once I click here, let's go and create another one. Creating another workflow. I believe you can see me. So these are all trigger nodes here. So how do I want to trigger this event? I could say trigger manually. I could say on app events, on a schedule, on a webhook call. So a webhook call is connecting it to a different application. So information is coming from a different application. Let's assume that you have a CRM. That is where you have a database of your customers or clients' information. But you want, once that there's an information, there's a role that is completed. Maybe you have a new client or you have a new patient that has, registered from under your CRM. It moves that information to a different thing. So the trigger will be that once a new patient, a new client has registered, it starts the workflow. So that's like a webhook call. On form submission, I know most of us have seen this, where you have somebody submitting information, their name, their email address, their phone numbers on a form. Once they submit that information, they get an email. It's an automation. So it's on form submission. So something like this. So when executed by another workflow, maybe you have multiple workflows, and the information coming from that other workflow is what that is. Whatever the output of that workflow is, plus is now being transmitted to the workflow that you have. So it could be coming from a different or another workflow, a different workflow. On chat message. So assuming I want to execute it manually, I can just add an on chat message here. So once I say something with this, it will just be able to execute it. Open the chat, so I can say, hi, how are you? You may not answer me now. I'll get a response. So that's like on chat message. Okay, it did execute it. Lovely. So this is an on chat message, but I'm going to delete it. Okay. So there are different kinds of trigger, other ways as well. You can check it out. Okay. Then after the trigger, let's even maintain this on chat message. So after the trigger, you may have what happens next. That will be the action node. So I want you to connect to, I can say I want you to connect to an AI. I want you to connect to an action in an app. In data transformation, sometimes you need to maybe manipulate the data or filter or convert data. So what does that mean? So assuming you want to transform your data, that is where you can also, the action is to transform the data. Okay, you want to add a loop, to merge it to something. So that's the action. Okay. Maybe there is you want to add a particular app. Let's say you want to add another app that doesn't really have that is not included here. Then you can add this. Now you want to maybe add a human in the loop, which is very, very important. You know, when you are doing this automation, you don't just want the automation to just go haywire. You want to add somebody to review the information. You want to add a human in the loop to review that information. Let's say you are posting on social media. You don't want immediately you ask it to run. It just posts on social media. You want to first of all review the output of what it has posted, it has created for you. Let's say you've asked it to create some videos for you or some images for you and text for you based on the prompt you have given, the user prompt you have provided. So once it creates that information, you want to review it before it goes out to the public. So that's where you add your human in the loop, and other and can add another trigger as well as what it should do. Let me see. So for this one that we created, we asked AI agent. I think that's what is agents. So it's an AI agent that I use. So this is AI agent. That's what I use. So let's even just add it. We are just using this as an example. So here is where you configure it. Really, really simple. So once you click on whatever you want to use, the next step is to add the action node, and then you add how you want the output to look like. So let's assume that I want the output to go to Telegram. I'm just going to use Telegram. And then just as an example, so here I just selected Telegram. How do I want to get it? Get a chat? No, I don't want to get a chat because I already have an on chat message. And get all administrators in the chat? No. Get a member in a chat? No. Leave a chat? No. Get description on a chat? I may use this, get a description on the chat, because I'm sending it a particular chat. So set a title on the chat, not really. Callback actions, answer query on callback, answer inline query callback, get the file. I could be able, it's possible I'm asking it to do something for me here, and I'm asking it to get a file, create a file for me. Delete a chat message, edit a text message, pin a chat message, send an animated file, send me an audio. Yes, these are some actions I may want. Send me something. So once this is the input, this is where it's going to be processed. Yes, what do I want it to do for me? Send me a document, send me location, send me media group, send me a text, send me a photo, send me, what do I want it to do for me? Let's say I want it to send me media, send me a text message. I can say send me a text message. Maybe let's say send me a text message. So that will be, and I configure it. I'm just giving you an example. So basically, it still has some things because I haven't configured it, so it still has error codes which are in here. So this is where I can add my OpenAI if I want to now add different a chat model. A chat model is usually an AI model. That will be the brain you want to give it to. Is it Anthropic chat model? Is it Azure OpenAI chat model? What chat model? So there are different chat models here. Open Router, most of us already know about Open Router. You can use the API key. ChatGPT, Grok model, we've already talked about the Vercel. This is from Google and all of that. So DeepSeek, these are all chat models. But let's say I want to use this. It starts like it's just that very simple. I go back here, you can see it's connected. Let's say I want to add some memory. There are very few memories here. You know what the memory does is to remember your whatever you are, whatever you have, you have the message you have given to it in the past. So it could be a simple memory. So once I want it to remember two things, three things, four things, five things of the chart. So just like your context window, that is what your memory can do for you. It's remembering things that you have asked it for. So I can use a simple memory. I can use this MongoDB chat memory. So it stores chat history from MongoDB collection. So assuming I'm using a database, my CRM, I'm using a database that is using MongoDB, I can use this here. Motorhead is also another one. Postgres, this is very popular database. So you can connect your database, Postgres database memory, can connect it to chat memory to this um, Redis chat memory or exata memory as well. So different things, but I'm just going to use a very simple memory. So let's say you are connecting some tools. You can see it's not that difficult. There are different tools you want to connect. You want it to speak to something or to enhance the capacity or the capability of what the model has. So that's when you use tools. I did mention something like this when we talked about the Google AI Studio on tool calling. So here, we are going to be using Google Calendar. So I'm going to check Google Calendar. So you can see I have a Google Calendar too. So I have this Google Calendar too. Something like this, we are not going to be using this, but so this is create an event in the calendar. You can also have it do other things in this calendar. Let me just open it and show you. So we can play this, like you can stop, deactivate it, you can delete it, and you can open it here. So because the operation is create a calendar, you can also have different the calendar doing a couple of things. So create a calendar, you can delete a calendar, you can retrieve retrieve an event in a calendar. You can also retrieve many events in a calendar. You can also update the calendar and do a custom API call. Okay. So these are like just showing us different ways and how to build this workflow. Tomorrow we will be building the main one. This is just an example. I'm going back to my slide to make sure that we've covered the key concepts we're talking about here. So we talked about the trigger node. So the trigger node, I've shown you a trigger node. It could happen, you can say, you can have a scheduled trigger node. So maybe you have an automation that you have set it to run every 9 a.m. It runs like that. Every Monday 9 a.m. You can have that trigger set in that way. Webhook is when once it receives data from a different or an external app, it runs. I already mentioned and I showed you the trigger as well. Manual is when you have that chat button, which we have used in here. So I used that chat button that is here. So this is a manual trigger. I came here and I typed using this chat and it did run. It was successful. Okay. Event-based starts when something happens in a different app. So still similar to the webhook, But let's say you have a database or maybe it completes a maybe a form. Yeah, this is like event based. So when you complete a form, it runs. So that's an example of an event based trigger node. Execution is, I've already shown you execution. So execution is you can execute a workflow, usually is once. So let me bring this a little bit closer here so that I can see. This workflow is not well done, but let me, because it still has some error messages. So, but let me show you what they mean by executing. Let's save it. So once we create anything, we'll just save it. I'm just going to save it, even if it's not like working very well. Just as an example, you can see execute workflow here. So that's like where you can manually execute a workflow. That is without it being an external, but this is already set to production. So I can execute this workflow by just going to my Telegram app and creating the event. I think we'll be able to do that today. Okay, so connections is when you have credentials. Most times you need to communicate with an outside app. Remember, this N8N is a different app, right? We have a different app, N8N. We are working here, but look at, we need to connect it to our calendar, our Google Calendar. How will our Google Calendar know that we have scheduled that appointment? That is where we have to add the credential of the N8N into uh, uh, Google Calendar, the Google Console. We also need to add the credential of Google Calendar into N8N so that both of these apps will be able to communicate. Same thing with Telegram. So we need to also have the credential of add the credential of Telegram to N8N for it to be able to communicate. If we do not add those credentials, there's no way these apps, Telegram, Google Calendar, and N8N will be able to communicate. Even the OpenAI, because OpenAI is the model. So we also need to add the credential. In fact, you need to add the credential to anything that is outside of N8N. So they are able to communicate. Okay, we've talked about integration. So, of course, you can integrate with different things, Google Sheets, Slack, OpenAI, Notion, like different things, right? We've talked about action node. After the trigger node, what there is an action that the workflow is supposed to execute. So that's like the action node, what the task that is supposed to perform. Now, data transformation nodes, I've shown you one of the data transformation nodes where you have to, maybe it's going to change the format of that data or filter the data in such a way that it will now be able to move to the next node. So we have logic nodes. Sometimes you want to give it some conditions. So if this happens, what should happen? Sometimes you can use it for error handling, but some other time we can use it for the logic nodes, we can use it to make decisions. So let's assume that I want to send an email. Of course, my email box, I can receive any kind of email, but let's say I want to make sure that any support ticket that I receive goes to the support ticket folder. I've created that in the mail. So I have to give it a rule to say, if it has helped me or support, then it must go to that folder. Okay, so some those kind of logic. Okay, so you can also have reusable tools or like different workflows in a particular workflow. So you have like maybe a workflow. Let's say you are creating a video. First of all, you have a workflow that creates the script for the video. Now you have a workflow that creates videos or images for the video. Now you have another workflow that creates the video that you need to create. So these are like three workflows in one. Mm, About this. So start with the trigger, add the action node, process with another node if needed, then final action node. What is the output? So that's kind of how the workflow works. Did I miss any part of this? Okay. So in the credential part, we may have need for items. So items is like having a single record or a row in a Google Sheet. So if you have like 5 items, you have like 5 rows. So let's assume like you have 5 topics of that you want to generate for your social media. So those are in different rows. So those are like your items. Now fields are the columns. So I know most of us already know like Google Sheets. Let me see what this is. This is okay. Unfortunately, I can't share some of these things, but I know most of us know Google already. Let me see if I can share any information that is safe to share. Yeah, so this is an example of a Google Sheets. I know most of us already know this. So this is anything that is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is an item. Anything that is in columns, columns are the vertical ones is a field. Okay, so anything in a column, in a column, in a column, they are all fields. Anything that is in a row like this is a row. The horizontal ones are the rows, the field, just to explain that a little bit more. So most times we use expressions. So sometimes we don't have a fixed information for a particular field, and I'll show you right here so that you understand it, but we'll dive into it a little bit more tomorrow. So let's look at, let me show you. So you have something like this is an expression. So you can see fixed, and this is expression. So I can use the expression when I have information that is variable, is a variable. So I use an expression for it. Okay. If I have a fixed data, I can just use fixed. And if I'm going to use a list. So what do I want to do on this credential? I want it to create an event for me. So I'm on that create event on Google Calendar. So I've gone here, I said create is the operation. Where do I want it? This is the email address I want it. And this email address is fixed. I don't want to change it because this is the email address I'll be using to create it. It doesn't vary based on it. But let's say I want something else, like a message ID or a chat ID. These things are variable because if somebody has sent me a message through Telegram, it's from a different account. The ID will be different. So I can just drag and drop it in any of the fields I want it to record, but I don't need that information on create. It doesn't really matter for the create event. I don't need the ID of the person. I just need the information I just need is it's going to be defined by OpenAI, which is I've asked it to automatically defined by the model because I have OpenAI already connected. So I just need the date and time that the person has scheduled that appointment. Okay, so going back to Canva here. Well, I will also save it later on. So let's go back here. Yeah, it's not necessary to memorize all this syntax because really, as I'm going to show you all of this tomorrow. Okay, error handling. We talked about error handling a little bit. So if most times things can go wrong when you start creating these workflows. Some things can go wrong, but when it goes wrong, what should happen to it? So you may want to configure it in such a way that either you say continue on the error, maybe where the error happened is not really critical, or you might want to separate the different workflows. So if error occurs in one workflow, it can send notification to another one, or you may want it to retry the error, retry to see if you can rectify or resolve that error. So these are ways you can add error handling in your N8N. Okay, I think maybe I don't know if we have another time, like if we have more time today, but maybe we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll start with the workflow because it's very critical. I want to go a little bit deep into our workflows so that we understand when to use this automation and how to use it. So tomorrow we're going to start with workflow activities. I want you to take some time, the I want you to take some time and review some things on this. Let me go over on your workflow activity. We'll keep referring to this workflow activity because it's really important for us to understand what our workflows are and be able to help us to, build an automation that will help you build and automate, or even your custom GPTs that would help you. Um, you can't just take this training and not be able to utilize it. So really important, you take some time, check these workflows out. I think it's first week one, this Excel sheet. Check this, download this, check what is your daily task, how do you do it. After taking this training, you should be able to automate at least something. You should be able to create a custom GPT. I believe you should be able to show up online with confidence because now you don't have any excuse. Like, I don't have clothes, I don't have. No, you don't have any excuse because I want you to show up and show up strong and create that visibility for your brand, for your business, because you have learned all this. If you have any questions, if you haven't been able to do this, if you're even like a student studying, like you should be confident even to pass your exam because we've, looked at Notebook LM. We've also been able to digest very well ChatGPT to help you to study. How do you break down tasks? How do you solve those problems? So I'm looking at this program to be able to be transformational for all of us here, like transforming your workflow, transforming your life. That's kind of how it should be. So go back to this workflow. Think about your daily task. Think about what you want to create. Build your business. Create that book. Write that book you have been waiting to write. Um, Show up online strong, create videos, images of yourself, clone your voice, and all of that. We have all learned all of that. I want this program to be transformational for all of us. You should not be doing things same way. No, we have learned something. You need to action it. Okay, I think we'll end here today. Tomorrow we'll look at this workflow again. This is the third time I'm bringing it here. We'll look at this workflow again. I want us to be able to look at our workflows. How can you plug AI into your workflows? Okay, this is where automation comes. The automation will come in, and then we'll go from there. Thank you everyone for listening, and I'm ready to take your questions. Question time. Let me stop sharing so I can face you, look at you, eyeball to eyeball right now. So, question. No questions. Everybody doing great. Dr. IJ, sorry for your loss. No questions? I can't wait to hear from you. Like, I can't wait to hear from you. I want you guys to be engaged. I want to hear from you. Okay, well, if you don't have questions, feel free to reach out when you can. Tomorrow is going to be hands-on. Come with your laptops, 2 laptops, 3 laptops, however you want to join. I will be automating things. We'll be automating our task. Yes. Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye.